of last week.
Okay.
Okay,
Good
so
evening,
let
doctor.
me see.
Good evening, doctor. Good evening, doctor.
Yeah, good evening, Daddy. Are you hearing me?
Ah, yeah, I'm getting you loud and clear now. How about me?
Okay, good. So I'll just put this other one off.
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Peter.
So let's get this off.
Okay. Ah, there you are. Am I loud? Am I loud from my end here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, thank you. That's good.
Okay. I just want Kajali to check for me if we should be live both on Facebook and on my YouTube channel. So if anybody can just check my Facebook timeline and just confirm that we are live both on Facebook. For my YouTube channel, just need to go to YouTube, just type Dr. John N. Jabang. Yeah.
Yes, you are live on Facebook.
Yes, I'm on. I can't see. I'm on your YouTube. I can't see live on YouTube.
That's what I cannot also see.
Yes, I think now you are live on YouTube.
Okay, it takes some time before it comes.
There
Yes,
are two.
I think yes, you are now live on. You are now live on the YouTube too.
Okay.
There are two of them. One is John Jabang, and the other one is Dr. John Jabang. Which one?
Dr. John N. Jabang. Dr. John N. Jabang.
Okay.
Yeah. So John Jabang is the one for the hospital. So Dr. John N. Jabang.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, but if you are listening to both, you will be usually YouTube is late for something like 20 seconds. So what we say here would be late in YouTube for something like 20 seconds. So Kajali, if you are following YouTube or Facebook, especially YouTube, whatsoever we said here, you will have a lag period of like 20 seconds before
Okay, okay. That's fine.
Okay. So
Brother Busenti, good day.
Hey, my brother, doctor. Morena. Good to see you, eh?
Yeah, I can see the environment behind you. Thank you. Well done. Keep it up.
All right. Nature nurtures.
Yeah.
Thank you, my brother.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me welcome all of you to this discussion. This is the Coronata series discussion. This has been an idea that every individual should participate in one way or the other in trying to either help in advocacy or help treatment or help in the provision of treatment in whatsoever form the current pandemic that we are faced with, which is COVID-19. And had this thought of trying to organize some more sensitization campaigns and using the media. And obviously, you would realize that most of the people in this country are basically not following the mitigation measures. And so that is causing quite a lot of, a lot of issues. So because of that, we want to take this series on. So the whole idea today is to go over the series and let me hear people's opinions and people's ideas. So I would share my screen so that we'll just go over the series again one by one, and everybody knows what we want to do. And at every given time, we should have different people coming to be able to live stream and also to present. So I will just share a bit of my screen. Sorry, it's going to take a long time. Just a second, let me share my screen. Okay. I hope everybody is seeing my screen. Okay, so all right, so basically this is it. Okay, so I mean the whole idea with this series, like I said, it's just going to be more on sensitization and discussion. And if you go out in the streets, what you see and what we are talking about are two complete different things. People are not adhering to the measures that we are giving, and as health workers, part of our role would be to continually sensitize them and continuously sensitize them and inform the people as we go. We all know that we're moving from bad to worse. Maybe speaking to one person, would make a difference. And this basically is part of the things that we are going to do. So the whole idea of, corona, just took corona as the virus, coronavirus, and we know the word Mandinka word coronata means, trouble has come. And that's the series. And on this series, there are so many things we are going to discuss. So most of you that are here, Dr. Abuke Silla, I'm here to see you to join, Dr. Ali Sen, Bajan, Bintu Jerno, they all be coming, Mariam Baji, Sar, Usman, Alkali, Dr. Marena is already here. I've got also Vicente, I've got also Bige here on the line who is representing the Sunyureu. Modu NS Njai is representing COVID Gambia, and Mrs. Fatim Baji, CEO is. Also, more importantly, the doctors, especially the members of the Gambia Association of Resident Doctors. This is where we are going to have most of the people coming to talk. So there would be discussions in Mandinka, in Wolof, Halpular, all the other, languages in the country, just to make sure that we reach as many people as possible. So basically all these people you are seeing here are going to be our partners. And if you look at part of the discussion, I thought it would be important to get the religious aspect, because sometimes the people listen more to the religious leaders than they would listen to any other person. As a result, we will get the Gambia Christian Council, we will write to them, and also the Supreme Islamic Council will write to them, so that time to time when we are talking on certain topics, we will have people from them. So we just drew up 7 different episodes that we will talk. So the first one would be introduction, and it has its components. The second one is going to be misconceptions of coronavirus. Can you please mute? Can you mute? There's some noise at the background. Just mute. And the other one is the coronavirus disease curve. Okay, then we talk about face masks. Then we talk about coronavirus disease and religion, and coronavirus disease and civic responsibility, and then the consequences of coronavirus. So, so I gave an example. So like number one, introduction, we need to discuss the concept, the overview. Of course, people know now most of these things, but as a new program, you would want to start from the base and then pick up and move on. So symptoms, preventive measures, and all that should be in the first episode. I just give some few examples here. So like the presenters here, but again, this is just a kind of an example. On a given day, some people may be available, others may not be available. Those that will be available will be contacted, and they will be able to come, and be able to give the presentation. And we will also make sure that everybody is given ample time so that, we can prepare, even though there isn't really much, to really say prepare. Like I said earlier on, GAD is the main, and then MDAG is another, and also other partners. So most of the doctors, the question is, why didn't you have everybody here on board? So for a beginning, you just want to have a few people first, work on it, work on the whole idea and then the whole concept, and then from there you can have everybody coming on and giving their own contribution. So the second one I talked about is misconceptions of coronavirus. Some people think it's a hoax. We need to discuss that. Some think it's a political agenda, but I think right now, currently, these concepts, their proportions are going a bit lower because people are now seeing the number of deaths that are happening. It's God's punishment for the West. It does not affect Black Africans. It's a cause. So these things are things we need to talk about. Coronavirus curve, we need to describe the natural history of the curve for people to understand the importance of the curve, what the curve means in terms of rate of infection, mortality, and all that will be discussed. Again, the mighty face mask is being used in this country, what it is used for, how it should be used, what are the merits and demerits, what are the bad ways of using face masks. We see people doing a lot of things. In fact, I'm told that somebody wanted to enter inside a supermarket and he was asked to put on a face mask. He went and borrowed a face mask from another person. When I heard that, I put my hand on my head. Those are things that are actually happening, and it's horrible. So we need to talk to people about all these things so that people would know about face masks. Or somebody wants to go and buy a face mask, he takes one, he tests it, he gives it to the one, and he takes and tests face mask. So all things like that, you can imagine that. The fifth episode is coronavirus, disease and religion. And here we intend to look at response to infectious disease from a religious perspective. If you look at both Islam and Christianity, you would realize that there are very, very strong doctrines that are talking about how people respond to infectious diseases. And sometimes it is important. So in this series, really, this is where the Supreme Islamic Council will come. This is where the Gambia Christian Council will come, and also other religious bodies. And this is also where we can get Sunyureu, who are also a group, and they have a lot of collaboration. Speakers to come and just speak on this, and probably people will hear. Obedience to mitigation, a religious obligation, which I think is important. And when people know that if the presidency gives a word to say, okay, or the state comes out with a law that everybody should go out with a mask, people should also understand it's a religious obligation. And since we live in a society where people are more inclined to their religious obligations than they may be inclined to their, to their civic obligations, so I think this is important. An individual's role in COVID from a religious perspective. Episode 6 is coronavirus disease and civic responsibility. And I'll go to episode 7 is the consequences of coronavirus disease. Okay. So these are the things that we have, and I think I'll just open the floor for any discussion and and deliberations. If anybody has anything that you want to us to add, or some topics you want us to add, or some you want us to modify, or some ideas help the whole program. So anybody that want to speak, the floor is open.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Dr. Jabang, Dr. Marina, and all others actually on board. First, I would want to appreciate you, Dr. Jabang, and all those. I am Vicente Gomez, I'm a community volunteer, and health is of paramount importance to all of us. Preventive health, to me, is more important than curative health, and that which can prevent us from going to the hospital is, to me, the best thing ever. It has no, honestly, comparison. We all know, as we said, Coronata definitely has a lot to do with corona and its consequences. To nyano more baby corona right now, baluo monsonia, mola jate kindia fanang mantara saharing, and honestly, corona has brought a lot of challenges to the globe and to smaller economies like the Gambia in particular. Our health sector is stretched, overstretched. Our health workers are becoming unhealthy mentally and physically. And unless definitely we all come together and do the needful right now, it may be difficult for us, more so for those in the hospitals who need to take care of themselves first before they can take care of patients. So Dr. Jabang, Dr. Marina, and all our frontliners, we just want to appreciate you for risking your lives for all of us. You've lost dear ones in the battle, globally and locally. And you've also had actually dear ones hospitalized who should have been actually taking care of other patients. So I think, honestly, the onus lies on us as citizens to help you people in the health sector by preventing ourselves instead of adding more burden on you, on our health budget, and on the challenges faced already as a country and a people by doing the needful. Washing our hands with soap regularly, it's a basic hygiene thing, with or without corona, it's basic hygiene. Wearing of mask, we use masks even well before corona in some hazardous places, like those who normally go to some sites. You are required to use a mask. Those who actually work in factories are required to use masks. Even those who fumigate in agriculture, crops and other things are required to use masks. So using of mask is nothing new, especially if we are in certain disciplines. It just so happens that now it is the whole country that is asked to do it for our own selves and for others, our family, friends, and loved ones. For me, coming up with this program is wonderful. It's great. We appreciate you and all others behind it. And of course, we know there are many others also doing the same thing elsewhere, and we want to appreciate them and thank them. The more actually we get people giving people the right information, the better for the citizenry and the country. The level of denial in this country is sickening. It saddens me. And unless definitely people start accepting first and believing that corona is real, and that they could be carriers unless they know their status, it's going to be definitely more expensive. And we don't hope to see the worst. Allah baraka baraka. Thank you very much, doctor. And all doctors and frontline workers.
All right. Thank you very much, Daddy Vicente, for those wonderful words. I'm seeing Dr. Abdullah have also joined us. Abu, you're most welcome. There are so many doctors around. Unfortunately, I'm not calling every other person that is here, but everybody is you're please most welcome. Yeah. So the floor is open. The discussion on how do we conduct this program? How do we want it to go on? I'm sure you've seen those of you joining. We've just gone through the whole program, the type of the topics that we've put in place, and we'll just see, everybody. I mean, any ideas, good ideas. How do we want to do it? Do we want to do it weekly? Do we want to do it every 2-3 days? Do we want to do it, every whatsoever? How do you see the topics? Can we add to them? Can we subtract from them? And you also think that we may not always stop here, but we can go to also other places. That would be fine. So the floor is open. And also for your information, we are live on Facebook. It's unfortunately just on one timeline, live on Facebook, and also we are live on YouTube. Okay.
Hello?
Yes, Koto, Mr. President, please come on.
Yeah, I thought you would have selected the person who is supposed to say something, but I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for taking this initiative. When it comes to Corona or any health problems or any social issues, it is important that individuals in the society, the small things that we do as individuals in the society, have a greater impact than what we do collectively. I think this is one of these small initiatives that each and every one of us is expected to do. So I take this opportunity to tell you never to give up. Always, every imagination that you have as an individual is a resource and people can tap from it. I think this is one of the initiatives that you have taken and will have an impact on us as individuals and also as well as the beneficiaries. Notwithstanding, some of the topics, I just think that they are a bit broad. For example, when you talked about the consequences of coronavirus,
Yes.
I think when we look at the impact of it alone on health,
Yeah.
we can discuss that for a whole day. And when we look at the impact of it on education, we can discuss that for a whole day. Similar agriculture and other societal issues. So I think it's better if time allows us, we can have more episodes by focusing on one thing at a time. I think that's my observation on the topics. But I think it's a good one because you have a number of people for each of the languages. So if one is not available, I guess others will be available. I don't know whether it is possible to choose one language per episode, because if time, maybe even if you are taking 2 hours, just a single language in 2 hours would be adequate enough than using multiple languages at the same time. That's my observation. I don't know what others would think about that. Thank you. Oh.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Sila, we can hear you. Thank you so much, Dr. Musa. Thank you.
Hello, Nuh.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, Dr. Sila.
Hello.
Let me
Jalo
see.
online.
Dr. Sila.
Is it Jalo or Silla?
Dr. Sila is talking, but I can't hear him. Abu, I can't hear you.
Hello, Nuh.
Yes, I can hear Jalo, but I'm not hearing. Just a second, I'm not hearing Dr. Sila. Dr. Sila, you are mute. Sorry. Let me
See if you
unmute
can get him. Now that we are doing testing.
Yeah, just a second. Let me just. Dr. Sila, can you unmute? You are mute. We can't hear you. Anyway, for some reason, I don't think I can hear Dr. Sila. Yeah, Maudo, you were saying something, yeah?
Yes. Nuh.
Yes.
Hope I'm being heard.
Yeah, you've been heard. This is Dr. Jallo, all the way in Accra, Ghana. Good to see you.
Good. Anyway, this is a very, very great. This is a very great idea, and then I'm sure a lot of efforts have gone into it and is going into it, and then we all happy to be part of it. to help the program to develop to the food. Dr. Marina has made a great point. What I would quickly want to add on what he said is in terms of the frequency, how often we should do the program.
Right.
So I think it would be good if we can do it weekly. And then that's the English version, weekly English version. And then maybe in between we have the local languages. A form of like re-echoing the English version of the program that had already taken place. Because it would be difficult to do all the local languages at the same time simultaneously in the same program, knowing how the time that we would need to present or to discuss on a particular topic. Okay. So maybe we can say, maybe every Monday or every Saturday or every Sunday, we'll do the English version. Then maybe Wednesday, we'll do the local version. And then we choose which languages we will do for, maybe we can even do it in the week. Maybe we do have 3 episodes, 1 English version, and then the other 2 all local languages. Maybe we may choose Mandinka one day, and then the Jola, Fula the other day, and then we roll it like that. We see how it goes.
Okay.
Or that's one way. The other way is we can alternate the weeks. 1 week we can do English and Mandinka, or English and Jola, English and Fula, or Wolof. Then the other week we alternate, so that the discussions can be that fruitful. Because it's like it will be like an open forum in between where the discussion will be going, and then there will be no limitations into how far it can go. Because then anybody who will be involved as part of the host or co-host or as part of the panelists would have got an in-depth idea into that topic. And then at a point, maybe, and then one may get responses, and the question and answer. While the program is going on, some people will have the opportunity to ask questions, and then all those questions will be factored in, and then will also be part of the program. So it would be sort of like interactive. While we are giving information, we are also addressing ongoing problems, and we are also helping people to understand some of the things that they feel they do not understand. I think that's another way of going by this. I think the topics for now are in order, but as we go, we will start opening up, bringing more programs into our series. And then for the fuller part, I want to inform.
So I'm like Dr. Bang. So then it means there are 3 of us, the fuller part, so that when that episode is going, the question and answer, the program. So that's how
that I was able to talk to Alhaji Ajibalde and then Abdullah. So I was
You're breaking Maudo. We are not getting you. Okay, all right. I think the suggestion that Dr. Jallo is raising looks a very good one. In a week, we can have a single English episode. So let's say we're going to talk about introduction, or we're going to talk about anything, a single English episode, and then subsequently within the week, we can now have the other translations that may be coming. I will look at how that can be. So I think that's a good one. And earlier on also, Dr. Marina, alluded to especially dividing, and that was really a very good insight, especially looking at the consequences, agriculture, economy, education, all those things. So we will be able to divide all that. I only had like, I think 4 parts on that, or 3 parts. I was more with this like social, education and economy, but there's a lot of light that is thrown into that. So Dr. Jallo, yes, those points are they're valid. So if we, let's say for instance, we say on Tuesdays. So on a Tuesday or Wednesday, we have an English version, which is actually going to be English.
Yeah.
And then during that, before the opportunity, we would have also done a Mandinka, and also done other, other languages, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then the organization, it may be organized in such a way that not all of us will be engaged at all the time. For example, if the Fula or the Jola version is coming, then the team that's responsible would have done their rehearsal, would have prepared the English version, they would have prepared the Wolof version, so that we are not expecting that everybody will be on board weekly. Maybe you'll not be on board maybe a week or two, depending on when the program is coming. So then that will now ease, some of the constraints we would have in terms of time and other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. And with regards the question, so I'm using this. It's called caster.io. It's a live stream broadcast way that you can use to live stream. I'm not yet still familiar with it, and of course it has so many components. There's a way we can be able to get all the questions that people would ask to be somewhere, so that every question is streamlined on one place. So we will organize it in such a way that somebody would be responsible. Somebody would be responsible to picking up those questions and be telling the panelists. But that we will surely discuss. It's a new thing that I've just started looking at, and we will get to know it a bit much more. Yeah. So that people who are watching on Facebook, they can ask their questions, and we will see their questions. And those watching on YouTube, they can. As we go bigger, then obviously we may subscribe for much more a bigger platform where it can be live streamed on different YouTube channels and also on different Facebook Live. Yeah. Okay. Dr. Silla, you were saying something, we couldn't get you. Maybe you need to take out your your earpiece and try without the earpiece, and let me see if we can hear you. If is any other person hearing Dr. Silla speak? I'm not hearing myself. Or did somebody else want to say something? I think he's freezed.
Yeah, hello. Good evening.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Hey, I'm coming. Hello, Nute. Hello.
Hello, Ali. Doctor, good evening. We're hearing you.
Yeah, Dr. Sen, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how are we?
Hello.
Yes.
Ali.
I'm seeing some faces which are really missing.
I'm hearing you, Doctor
Take this
Sen.
opportunity to send my greetings.
Your line is breaking. Were you coming on and off?
Yeah, calling all the way from Accra. I'm even with Jalo. We are here together.
Wow, Akwaba.
Okay, nice.
Hello, the connection is a bit slow. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, Sen.
Okay, great. All right. I just want to take this opportunity to
Dr.
just
Sen, we are hearing you.
thank everybody. Yeah. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank everybody who has made this thing possible. I think it's the right direction, and I won't just use a lot of time to buttress what others have already said. So with this COVID pandemic, I think it's a step in the right direction. Okay. Nowadays, there's a lot of competing misinformation. So I think having another platform which is addressing that is a step in the right direction. I've not really gone through the whole document which John shared before. I think we'll have a look at it. I think we can look at it as a book. If we have any more suggestions which we feel may also add value to the program, I think we can go ahead and do that. I'm in total agreement with the suggestions made about the program because if you look at it, not everybody understands the English language. So having a program in the local language will also help a lot, and it will also help to disseminate the information to the left of the Gambia. Although you can argue that not everybody have access to internet, Facebook, but nowadays information spreads a lot with the WhatsApp sharing and all other platforms on the ground. These days, messages spread a lot. Okay. Without much ado, I think I'll just leave it there. I just want to take this opportunity to just thank everybody.
Okay, Dr. Sen, thank you so much.
With the IT. Yeah. So the IT specialists, we are taking this opportunity to thank them very much. Okay, so I will just end it here. So, like I said, we'll look at it and then we'll see how best we can add more value to that to what have been suggested. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Dr. Sen. Even though your line was breaking, but we could get the main things that we are talking about. Yeah. Okay. So again, more ideas and more things to do. It's not going to be perfect in the beginning, but as we go, we will perfect it, gradually as we go. All we need to put in place is basically to lay the structure and the foundation. And once we've got a good structure and a good foundation going, then we are sure that perfection will come as we go. So let's hear every other question. Bajan, I've not heard you.
Okay, hello, can you get me?
Yep.
All right, for me, what I want to understand are the timelines. How quickly are you expecting us to start implementing this? And secondly, what are the platforms we are using? Are we going to say we are only going to do internet-based, or are we going to try to engage with other mass media? Because my problem right now is that the people who need to hear this are not the ones who are going to be online on Facebook or on the internet. The people who need to hear the information are the ordinary people who are down there who actually, they don't realize or they know how crazy the situation is. So those are my questions.
Yeah. So yes, yeah, I had a discussion with Fatim. She's not on, so I had a discussion with Fatim, and obviously she she talked about those, the very sentiments that you echoed now, Dr. Bajan. And that is true, because sometimes we have the feeling, especially when you are on social media, that everybody is knowing what is happening in social media, but it's just a small percentage of this country that's really on social media. That's the fact. She was talking about the need to get it on some of the TV stations, of course, that people would listen to in several places and far away also. And we will try to look for some others. Of course, this is easy because the cost here is very minimal. But then I'm sure once we start, it's going to be a good program. We could look for some form of sponsorship, or if not, speak with some, could be radio stations, or it could be television stations, and then to try to air some of the discussions that we're going to do. Yes. So right now, we don't seem to have yet any of the radios or TVs about this program, but it's something that we would need to look into, and maybe people can also, anyone in this place, in this platform, can also give his own idea as to what to do. But certainly, once we start, we need to go to the community. We need to reach the community. That's the main thing. And to reach the people in their own language, the best thing is to use a media that reaches out to them. And I think this does, but in a very small percentage. The other medias would do better. And in terms of starting, Dr. Bajan, I'm trying to look. Once we agree upon something, we would, we could, before the end of the day, we will choose a date to start. Yeah, and we just need like the good suggestions come in, like few people from here, somebody in. Once we agree, we will just get a date, to say, okay, on this day we're going to start, and so on, and so on. So what we want to do for it to have more for people to know about it, we will obviously advertise it. So if we are talking on something, we will advertise it, we will share it on our pages, we will share it on our various groups, and the date is there, the time is there, and how people can get connected also is there. And when it comes, then people would know that, oh, today we are expecting this discussion, so on, so on, so on, people could listen to that. Yeah. Any other suggestions? Yes. Does anybody have any suggestions?
Jabang.
Yes.
Dr. Jabang.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just to give some suggestion concerning what Dr. Bajan was saying.
Okay.
I think it is good for us to start somewhere.
Right.
Yes, we may not be capturing the bigger population that we should, or with this we will be capturing a population.
Okay.
So I would suggest that probably you would have to record the audio, and this audio could be shared on the various platforms that we have around. So that would be another means. And like you said earlier on, you have to collaborate with some other media outlets, as well as the traditional media outlets, so that even if you have the recorded one, it can be aired on those traditional media outlets like radio and maybe TV, if you have, or online TV. I think that's something that we should think about. But for the meantime, I think we should set a date and time maybe once a week, twice a week, whichever one that we agree.
Right.
Then based on that, then you can come out with the schedule for the various languages and the topics that will be discussed.
Okay. Yeah, okay. All right, that's fine. I think that's a bright idea. Yeah. So we would work on trying to record them. And since they are live stream on the YouTube, it will be easy. I've not done it yet, but I think it should be easy to try to just download it and try to see how to we will discuss with those that are experts in IT, yeah, to get the audio, and then we can send the audio.
Yeah.
So in terms of, so let's get the points. Let's say in terms of presentation. So do we agree that presenting, on a weekly basis? So we take a topic a week. Like, so if we say, let's say for instance, Monday, let's say it's English. So we are just talking about introduction concepts of coronavirus. What is coronavirus? So let's say, for instance, that's what the discussion is going to be. How do you get it? How do you prevent yourself from it? And, when you have it, what are the signs and symptoms and all those things? So if we say Monday, there is an English version, because there are suggestions that we may not use many languages in a day. So let's say at most, how many languages do we think we can use, per session, per discussion? I'm thinking in terms of the duration of a discussion. Of course, here we are not paying anybody or something, but again, you want to give a concise time because people are busy, people are working, people are also engaged. So I'm just thinking that maybe 1 hour would be sufficient to discuss a topic. If the topic is not finished, it can always be divided into part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 or something, and be discussed later. So let me hear your people's opinion on that. In terms of the timing, I'm thinking maybe 1 hour live stream, 1 hour, 20 minutes, or 1 hour live stream, okay. In terms of timing, per topic or per part, weekly. So in 1 week, we would have done, let's say, introduction, and it would have been done in English, let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, let's say, because different people will come, like what Dr. Jallo was saying. So different people would come. So maybe if you come once, you may not come until a longer time. Because if you look like Wolof, you have so many people that speak Wolof. Mandinka, so many people that speak Mandinka. I think the people that will be coming more and more are those of us in the minority languages, the small languages. We are not many. But for the most of it, we still have a number of people. Hal Pular, we have so many. Even though Dr. Jallo's Pular has been corroded by Asante. But anyway, he's going to come. So in terms of presentation, I think once a week, then all the others would come within. So let me hear people's thoughts on that.
Hi, good evening, Dr. John.
Yes, good evening, sir.
I was raising my hand hoping you would call
Isaac.
me. Anyway, that's right. But just like the many speakers have said, I think this is a very laudable initiative and one that will make a great impact in our fight towards this pandemic. So I think I'm agreeing with, so I'm looking at between 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. So it is not too short to be able to exhaust all the complex discussions, but also not too long to bore people, also to give people time for all their other activities. So between 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. And I'm also thinking for whatever time duration is given, the last 15 to 30 minutes should be a bit more interactive with the followers so that people can ask their questions or their comments or whatever contributions they want to make. The second thing is about how often can it be, can we have it? So once a week is fine. I was even thinking maybe twice a week because it's an unusual time. So if you think about it, for example, you're thinking about bringing some of the discussions around episode 7. And these are all information that are very vital in the fight against this pandemic. It's different from maybe other health topics that you may just want to have casually, as and when you can. But this one, you want people to be able to, especially when it comes to what people should do and all that, to get those information as quickly as possible. So minimum should be once a week. If we can, twice a week, so that we're able to get information to the people, and then they're able to utilize that information. And I agree with what you said. The other languages can come in between. So if it is once a week, so if we have it, let's say on a Sunday or on a Monday, before the next Monday, we already have it in different local languages, and that would be helpful. I also weigh on what Dr. I think Bajan mentioned, and Dr. Musa Marana also commented on it a little bit. I think we should not think the social media is a small, really, chunk of the population. If you look at what we may say is a lot of our older people or older generations are not on social media, but looking at the young people, youths and so forth, a lot of them are on social media. And so whatever is done on social media is able to get to so many of those younger people. So we can have recorded versions of the episodes sent to radio stations or sent to TV stations, or whichever way we can. Now I'm also thinking, once we start, because the whole thing is about sometimes starting. Once we start, we may be able to have a lot of invitations to have other radio programs and so forth. And in those platforms, we can also continue to share the messages. But I think by and large, it's a great initiative. And the local languages really should be, we should try to cover as many as we can within those in between the episodes, so that we get down to the grassroots, because a lot of people really prefer to hear the message, and it sinks better when they hear it in their own language. Yeah. But thank you so much for the initiative. And I think together we'll be able to make it grow bigger. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Isaac. Thank you. Yep. Once a week or twice a week. Yep. I think with the trend of things, more information needs to go out to the public. More information needs to go out to the public. And the earlier it goes, also the better. Yeah. So I think we can look towards it. Let me just hear what different people are saying. I just wanted to read Dr. Joanne Alabasum. I'm sure many of you don't know Joanne. She used to be in our class. She's currently in Nigeria. So she just sent this to say, hi, John, may I suggest, even though I wasn't asked, so I sent her a message to say, obviously, you are Gambian, so you are part of this whole thing. But in support of Ali Sen and Abdullah Bajan, please do not forget the existing public health structures that Gambia has. This could be useful in meeting the rural or local people. So if that radio, okay, you can also work with them with pre-recorded info sessions of these topics you all decided are worthwhile. The internet will reach some demographic that is young, middle class, maybe even WhatsApp, if you get your colleagues to pre-record as well. But for the poor, find out what channel programs, like those programs that are on, like malaria sensitization, immunization, that are already used, that might help. Wishing you all a great impact. Cheers. Joanne Alabason. Joanne, thank you so much. If you're listening, thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So we have two things. We do one session per week, or in 1 week, we can do 2 sessions. I'm even afraid, because I know that, like what Dr. Musa said earlier on, some of those episodes, they will take weeks, because some of those discussions, they may take a long time. So let me just open that to the floor. All right, Bige, your hand is up. Or Ali, your hand was up. Any of you?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this meeting. Again, like everyone, I commend you, Dr. Jabang, for the initiative. I do think that our nation, the Gambia, needs something like this. I would challenge you as medical professionals to look beyond just COVID-19. I think what is being birthed here most probably is something that should be looked at with a long-term lens. And that's the perspective I'm going to be speaking from. For just to put context, I'm not a doctor, so most probably I'm one of the few people here who's not a doctor. So my background, of course, is as an accountant, internal auditing, risk management, and my background is also international development. I'm raising this to come somewhere. In international development, you have two types of programming. You have development programming, where you can think of long-term views and long-term perspectives, and you have the luxury of time. And so you can pace yourself. In humanitarian or emergency or crisis situations, we don't have the luxury of time. And therefore, the protocols are different. Everything is fast-tracked. I look at the program that you've developed, 7 episodes, and if you want to deliver it over 7 weeks, question is how many people will die? So I'm challenging you to think about how to fast track this program and to focus it on what do people need to know to prevent them from dying. And if it means that at a later stage, when the curve is flattening, then you can have programs to really now go in depth in the different aspects to give people better understanding. That's fine. But right now, the priority is to make sure that there is a change in behavior, that people understand the preventive measures, why they're taking it, how it helps them, and know also what they should do should they contract the disease. What are the remedies that are out there, whether it's medical or it's alternative medication, whatever. But the way I see it, I think that's really the key. So I throw my 2 pence there. And again, I congratulate you. Like I said, I think what you've started, hopefully you will look at it with a long-term perspective, because you could do this not just with COVID-19. You could do it for so many different key sicknesses that we have in the country that people will really benefit from, rather than them hearing from, I don't know, radio stations where you have a healer that's telling them use this or do this. It will be beneficial if they also heard from the doctors the kinds of things that they could do. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Bige. I think all you did is to light this fire in us. That's right, we are in an emergency situation and the time is not there. The faster we do the things, the better, because then we are able to pass the information out there, especially the preventive part of it. Because I was even looking, and that was why I was saying also that we would need to look at some of those. I mean, we may not follow the episodes religiously. Like today, the issue of mask is something of paramount importance, and the way people use mask is horrible. Like I was saying earlier on, somebody was already telling me that he's already discouraged about the mask because he sees someone that was going into a supermarket and they asked him that he must put on a mask. He came and borrowed a mask from another person and used that to go inside the supermarket. So you can imagine that's already catastrophic. Or somebody wants to go and buy a mask and he's testing this one and using this one, testing it, obviously breathing on it and giving it to another person. All those things are catastrophic. And people are using masks in so many very bad ways. So probably, in fact, the mask thing immediately after introduction may even come earlier on. Yeah. So, but the sentiments that you raised, BJ, are really in place. I think we'll have to see how we've got the human resource. The human resource is not a problem. There's so many doctors that are out there. I mean, they are ready. I mean, you tell anybody, just get ready, prepared for this topic. Within 2 or 3 days, the guy is ready for that topic. That I don't think is an issue. Dr. Musa is here. He knows. He's the president of the Gambia Association of Resident Doctors. If you are on that page, you know how active those guys are. I'm telling you. You know, if you miss that page for a day, you are talking about 100, 200, 400 messages that have gone without you reading. So the people are already there. The people are active, and the will is there, and everybody is there. Will be there to contribute. We only need to just organize it and do it well. Okay, Bigger, thanks. Any other person having something? Okay, so in terms of, I think we can try to streamline it. And do we say if we take 2 in a week, that would be fine? So English comes, that means English comes, let's say every Monday and Thursday, it's English. And then we would have Tuesday, Wednesday. We can, I think we can mix English and other local languages. So let's say English, Mandinka, Wolof. If you can take those 3, and then you have another, again, 3 languages that will come on another day, another 3 languages on another day. I don't know what you think about it. Dr. Musa, what do you think about it? Can we take, if we take like 3 languages, because Jalo was talking about reducing just to 1 language, and the hours also, it's important. Let's know how many hours do we want to discuss it.
Yeah, I think it depends on how we schedule it.
Okay.
Is Jalo talking? Maybe I should allow him to say something.
No, Jalo is not. He's muted.
Okay. So I think it's a good idea, but you know, on weekends maybe everybody is free because of the coffee or something, because of coronavirus. People may not be moving around. So, but on a weekday, it will have to be later in the evening, because some people or most people will be occupied during the day or the working hours. So from morning to 4, we will not have time. And maybe we can do it after that, maybe let's say 5 to 6, 6 to 7, and 7 to 8 in different languages. If we do that, then maybe that would work. But I foresee that maybe if we have 3 episodes per week, that would help.
Okay.
Okay, so in the different languages. I know it's going to be difficult to exhaust everything, because if you want to exhaust everything, then we have to summarize.
Yeah.
These are things that people have been saying over and over. I think it's a matter of reminding people the importance of some of these things. And we can look at the most urgent topics and we bring them forward, even if they are not the episode 1, 2, 3, and bring them forward.
Yeah.
Then the subsequent one, like the impact on other maybe activities, social activities like health, finance, agriculture, and others, can come later, because that would have been after probably, or a few months later after COVID, or even during the period of COVID, but let's say 3 months forward, or at the end of the year, you can look at the impact of it. So maybe when it comes to face masks, religious aspects, all those things, we can bring them forward. And within a 3-week period, we should be able to exhaust the most important, the 3 most important or 4 most important topics. That's my suggestion. I don't know what others would think about.
Hello, Nick.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm back again. I'm very happy to see Vicente. Yeah. So I just want to ask, so who are our targeted audience? Because if we are talking about doing free programs today, who are we targeting as our audience? Because in order to make it very interactive, you have to get good audience, number of audience. And then, of course, I believe we are also working towards getting the local media, local radio stations to either play the recorded or link while the program is ongoing. I think that's something that we have to factor in. Yeah. So that's my question. Who are we targeting? Because if you want to have a group that we want to interact with, I don't think we'll be able to keep a particular group for 3 hours per episode. So that's why I was thinking of dividing it into episodes, into days where we will advertise beforehand, so that the ones who speak Mandinka or Fula or Jola will target that time, will put up their programs for that time, and then the following of listening, so that it will be interactive along that line. So that's the reason why I really wanted it to be in episodes and then on different days. And then I would quickly also want to agree with the one of the speakers who spoke, I think from Life Solutions, something like that. She said very valid points, that we should try to think, try to put up some programs for the future. You know, even though right now it's an emergency situation, but we should start to brainstorm on where we want to be in the near future, some of the programs that we want to entertain, you know. Yeah, so that's something also we should start to brainstorm on, maybe in our own platform. I think it's important. Yes. So there is a lot of
Okay, yeah, thanks so much, Dr. Jallo.
So now I think there are two things. No, sorry, there are two things. One, the duration, is it 1 hour or 1.5 hours? And then are we going to do a crash program, straight 3 hours, divided into English with other 2 local languages? Or would we want to do it language per day, and then we try to spread them with good advice to get more participants? Yeah, thank you.
Yep, okay. So the audience, just in response to your question, of course, the audience is the Gambian populace that we want to reach out to. And because of that, we want to make sure that we speak in every language that every other person would understand. At least most people can speak most of the major languages here. But again, in a crisis like this, you want to be relevant to almost every other person. In terms of the time, we are yet to decide. I was thinking maybe 1 hour, somebody's saying 1 hour, 30 minutes. I know that, you know, discussions like this, usually even 1 hour becomes small. I mean, if you participate in these type of discussions, an hour becomes, but I think an hour, 30 minutes should suffice for a given discussion. To make it more effective, I'm thinking, and I'm not yet too sure, we could, if we say 1 hour, 30 minutes, it's like saying, okay, there's one presentation per language, maybe 25 minutes or 30 minutes and 30 minutes and 30 minutes. So you have 3 languages being aired on a given day. That we can do, and that also depends. And let's just hear what everybody would think that would happen. So in terms of timing, it's 1 hour, 1 hour 30 minutes. Somebody's saying up to 3 hours. You can go for 3 hours, but anyway, 3 hours would be long. But I think 1 hour, 1 hour 30 minutes. In terms of the number of languages you need to speak at a given time, maybe we make it 2 or 3, so that it could be English and Mandinka, Wolof and Halpular, that and that. Or we make it 3, so English, Mandinka, Wolof, and Halpular, Jola, Manjago, and then you may have in some other episodes, not much, Obviously, you get Sarahule. What else again? I think the Aku will go in for English. Big, if they will not, if you'll forgive us, right? Or we can still put some Aku for you, and other languages, yeah. So something like that. But let's hear what people think. Basically, let's divide it that way, and I think with that it could be fine. 3 languages, 1 hour 30 minutes. So if Isaac was talking about allowing time for interaction, question and answer, so you present for 25 minutes and you wait for like questions and answers like for 5 minutes, another person present 25 minutes, 5 minutes, another person also, or you all present 20, 20, 20, 20 minutes, and that gives you 1 hour, if I'm correct, that gives you 1 hour, and in the next 30 minutes would become an interaction. I think 20 minutes of a presentation should be enough to cover. Like Dr. Musa said, we can't cover everybody. We can't cover everything, in detail, but then the main points would be out. So I don't know if you think that's okay, let's know.
Dr. Jabang?
Yes, sir.
I will even suggest that the presentation be 15 minutes.
Okay.
Because usually such a program, I still have programs on the radio.
Right.
When it becomes interactive, even 1 hour is not enough most of the time.
Right.
So I think maybe the 1 hour 30 minutes, we use 1 hour, we use 15 minutes for presentation, or maximum 20 minutes, as you said.
Right.
Then the 1 hour, the whole 1 hour would be reserved for just interaction. Okay. But that makes it more lively, and that makes people to ask their doubts, their concerns and other things. Give them the opportunity, and so many people can ask a question. Maybe the moderator will have to take 5 questions at each time. Then the person who present would have answered them. Then you allow another 5 questions again, so that no question is left unanswered.
Okay.
I think that's something that we need to look at.
Okay. So meaning presentation will take 1 hour, and then interaction another 1 hour. So do we?
No,
agree?
I mean presentation 20 minutes.
Yeah. So if you're going to, what do you want us to have just one language to be spoken on a given day, or do you want us to have like 2? I was taking into account if we have 3 languages in a given day, English, Mandinka, Wolof, for instance, then 20 minutes in English, 20 minutes in Mandinka, 20 minutes in Wolof. That's 1 hour. And then the next hour you have would be questions and answers and interaction.
If we want to preserve time, the English version, I suggest that we make it very small.
Okay.
Because we know that an average Gambian, among the 3-4 languages, they should be able to speak one of them. I know there are others who can't speak any of them.
Right.
But we want a larger audience. So if we focus on the local languages more than the English version, I think that will help us more.
Okay.
Because yes, English is our official medium, but most of us, 99% of the time, we speak our local languages.
Yeah.
So if we spend so much time, even the people who are interested will not be interested to watch it, because the first few minutes, maybe the first 5 minutes, they will watch it and say, these people are speaking English, so I can't understand what they are saying. Yeah. So the audience, yes, we have all been to school. Maybe we say 70% of Gambians have been to school before. But most of us are comfortable in speaking in the local languages and understanding things in the local languages than the English language.
Okay.
So if we use the 15 minutes, we should be able to deal with about 4 languages in the 1 hour period.
Right.
Then we give another 1 hour for the interaction. I think that should help.
Okay.
The 2 hours, that should deal with the 2 hours, so that what the lady said would be put in place, so that if we even do it twice a week, we should be able to cover at least 2 episodes in a week.
Yeah.
So a whole 2 hours in 1 week. That should, I think that should help us.
Okay.
That's my suggestion.
Okay, so it's like it's going to be 2 hours. We said that's okay, and we'll try to do it two episodes per week. For now, I think we would agree on that, except if somebody have something else. And we will have multiple languages. Okay, like 3 to 4 languages going on.
It's right. It's useless.
Dr. Sen, can we hear you? Okay. So do we agree that's okay? Can we indicate by raising up our hands? I'm not seeing any hand yet. Okay, so good. All right. Okay, we are having 2. Alaji is saying yes. Kajali is saying yes. All right. Okay, that's fine. Any other business, any other discussions? When do we want to start? When do we want to start? I'll prepare. I mean, so the start is obviously the introduction. And in the introduction, like we said, we're going to emphasize on the prevention, as we talk about. We're going to emphasize on the prevention. We're going to emphasize on the signs and symptoms, so that when people see it, what they need to do. We know that loss of taste and loss of smell is typically characteristic of COVID. And there are patients that you meet in the clinic who would have these symptoms, and you tell them to go and do a COVID test, and they are like, no. Or so many people are having it, and they've not even gone for any test. So the introduction will help really address some of those things. So when do we think we can get the introduction started? Any suggestions? And once we start, that's it. We're going to go. We'll just send everybody the program, and you will all come on. Any suggestion for a start date? So you see, we are already 1 hour, 30 minutes gone. So we're about to close. So let's just get a suggestion for a start date. Can somebody just suggest a date we will start? We're going to start on that date. Let me get those that have not spoken here. Alaji, we've not heard your voice. We've not heard your voice, Alaji, so speak. Today is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So between Tuesday and Wednesday could be a good starting point. So we would have time to prepare. Tomorrow is Monday, to get the people that will come on board for the start, to discuss with them. And also, we always need to have a pre-record session before, so that we can, we'll just discuss the things that we're going to talk about and all that. So that we can always do virtually, it's not a problem. So Tuesday, Wednesday. Can we have somebody voting Tuesday, Wednesday? So just write on the chat. Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, somebody's saying Wednesday. Any other person? We'll start Wednesday. Any other person for Wednesday? Okay, Cherno seconded Wednesday. Okay, so that's fine. So we'll start the live streams on Wednesday. Please, everybody, just be on board. We will do a short session before we start on Wednesday. So from today going onwards, we will discuss with various people.
Hello.
COVID-19 Gambia. They would be helping us really with our IT to make it a bit more robust. Yes, Dr. Marina.
Wednesday is what time?
So the time we have not stated yet.
Because Wednesdays are not good days for me. So if there's another day, I would prefer to take another day.
You prefer? Okay, that's fine. But
so my participation on Wednesday may not be all time, but yeah.
Okay. What time do we think would be better? Would we do it an evening time, let's say from 8 onwards, or do we do it an evening, like at night, or let's say a bit earlier by 5, 6, 7?
For 5, I think most people would be driving or going home.
Going home, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if
7, 8, 6, 7, 8, I think that should do. 8 is not very late. 6 is also not very early. I think that should do.
So 6, 7, 8, we would start.
Yeah, and a weekend. I think a weekend should be a day that we should include.
Yes. So we are starting on. We are thinking to start on Wednesday. So if we have minute, we'll have one episode on Wednesday. Maybe we would rest on Thursday, Friday, and we could do one on Saturday. We may even do another on Sunday, depending, because we'll have different people coming.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. All right. So guys, again, let's summarize what we said. One, we will do hopefully 2. If we can, we'll go for 3, but hopefully 2 episodes a week. If possible, we'll take it to 3. In each episode, we will have about close to 3 different languages, okay, that we will discuss. Episodes will start at 6 o'clock p.m. to end at 8 p.m. Yeah. And also everybody that is going to be involved in a single episode, one episode or the other, would obviously be informed earlier so that we all get prepared. And then we will go on. It's the rainy season, unfortunately. Sometimes internet is bad, so we will have those cities. I was saying earlier on that COVID Gambia, those that are running COVID Gambia, very fantastic people. They have also helped, offered us to help us with all the broadcasting and all the things that is going to happen. So we will obviously in the future have a more robust, broadcasting network and a system. Yeah. Okay. Any other business, please? Any other business? All right, guys, in the absence of any, thank you all. Thank you all so much. We will just be watching this on the Facebook Live to see how it all went. But again, thank you all so much. So hoping to get everybody's participation. Just get ready as we go out over there. We will do all our best to see how best this program is aired in TV in different areas. And we are also looking for, like I told you, after discussing with some few people, to see how best we can have slots. If we are able to have slots, that would be fine. Then people are just chosen, and they will go and participate in those slots. But otherwise, thank you all so much. Jalo is here, Dr. Sen, Dr. Isaac Jabang, Bige, Dr. Kajali, Dr. Marina, Dr. Sila, Bajan was here, and all the rest who were here before. All of you, thank you so much for participating. All right, so see you Wednesday and the other days and in the other episodes that you will be in. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you.
He said thank you.
He said thank you. Yes.
He said God.
He said thank you.